Welcome back everybody, it's another Flashback Friday and I'm going to be sticking with the Star Wars universe, but I'm changing scales this week as I look back to the 3 3/4 inch scale. And today I'm going to focus on one of the great vehicles of the episode 1 line, and that is Anakin's Podracer. I've been very fortunate to be able to get my hands on a brand new unopened version of this vehicle. So today I'm going to be unboxing it and building it and applying all the stickers from scratch. So as ever, let's start off by looking at this packaging. By now, if you've ever had any of the Star Wars Episode 1 line from Hasbro, you'll be very familiar with this branding. It was, of course, replicating what Kenner had done with their Power of the Force 2 line by having that black void of a background with the lightsaber strip. In this case, it would be Darth Maul's lightsaber, and swapping out Darth Vader's helmet for Darth Maul's face. We then have this production photography of the vehicle itself looking pretty cool. It's slanted on an angle there to make it look like it's flying, and it works just a treat. And you can see they photoshopped some jet engine activity going on coming out the exhaust there, which is a nice touch, give it that sense of speed and excitement. So looks really good. What I was surprised by all these years later, seeing just how much small print there is on this packaging and all the different multiple languages that we can see on here as well. But then of course the other crucial element is that we can see that this vehicle comes with a free figure. It is a figure, of course, of Anakin. This is a medium-sized package, but it's big enough to make a visual impression if you want to put it on your shelf on display, and I think it's still quite striking all these years later. Now, if we flip the packaging over, we see more of the same largely. Again, a tremendous amount of small print on the back of this box, but we have some more images of this vehicle. We can see the action feature being demoed there as well, and then of course in the bottom left hand corner we see some of the other toys available in this wave. So we see the 3 3/4 inch action figures, but we also see some of the other vehicles as well, including Sebulba's Podracer and the Naboo Starfighter. And I have to say, having the opportunity to open up one of these for the first time in all of these years is a little bit like magic. It takes me back to being a kid again, and it's fantastic to see one of these absolutely brand new, pulling out the box, seeing all the bits and pieces inside, including some of these transfers and stickers, and just feeling that new toy buzz. Assembly is mercifully quick and convenient. There's a handful of different propellers we need to attach to the front of the nacelles, for lack of a better word. And in a rather ingenious move on Hasbro's part, the actual cockpit is attached to 2 metal prongs that slide into the plastic nacelles and suspends the cockpit above the rest of the Podracer. So this looks really cool and very effective, and is a really clever way of getting around that issue of keeping the elevation of the cockpit above. And then we have this final translucent plastic piece, which is to emulate that sort of energy beam keeping the 2 nacelles together. And once you've had fun applying all the stickers in the right place, I have to say what we're left with is a pretty attractive vehicle all in all. Now, some of the key points I wanted to highlight is that we can actually see a great level of detail on some of these engine pieces or these metal pieces. I love how we've got this sort of paint wash running over it to create that sense of rust and dirt. I think that looks really good and just helps this pop a little bit more. I really like the use of these transfers. They're still sticky after all these years, and they work really well to enhance and give a little bit more colour and vibrancy to this vehicle. Likewise, you'll also notice there's these individual wings that fold out and close as well, so these are really nice. Again, replicates what we see on screen, which is really fun and just gives it a little bit of extra playability, I suppose. Also, if we look inside the interior cockpit, I'm always surprised how well these transfers work, these stickers, because it creates such a lot of detail and it's so simple to apply, but it just looks really good. There are no additional transfers used on the nacelles themselves, but these look absolutely fantastic. They're really well sculpted, but again, those paint apps have created such a lot of extra detail, depth and texture. It's just magnificent really. So again, I'm a little bit surprised all these years later looking at this for the first time up close and realising just how much effort went into this line. For a mid-range vehicle, this is actually quite sizable, and its shape and mechanics definitely give it its own unique individual identity, which is really fun. As with most toys of this era, it does of course have an action feature. There's 2 prongs in the central column next to the nacelles that if you push that in, it pushes out the propellers of the nacelles to create that effect of them slowing down or going faster. As mentioned, it does also come with an Anakin Skywalker figure to fit inside the cockpit as well. Now, this is a little bit smaller than your average 3 3/4 inch scale figure because, of course, it is in scale, so it probably measures just over 1.5 inches. And he benefits from 6 points of articulation: swivel at the head, swivel at the shoulders, 1 at the waist, and at the top of the legs as well. And this is technically the second Anakin Skywalker we get in the episode 1 line, because this is actually a pretty decent variant. Of course, he is sculpted with his arms up there to be able to hold onto the controls of the Podracer, but you'll also notice that his head is actually sculpted with the helmet on. The single carded version of Anakin Skywalker comes with a Naboo Starfighter helmet, which is optional. You can either put it on or take it off. Our version of Anakin, though, was literally made to fly the Podracer, so of course you can fold his legs nice and easily and slide him into the Podracer, into that cockpit there. And once he's in position, I have to say, he looks pretty cool. So again, I have nothing but really good things to say about this in terms of its overall look and aesthetic. It's one of those toys that still stands up today. You can put this on display and it looks like a really nice model. And it works really well. Yes, it has its toyetic features. Maybe it's a little bit too colourful in places. But to me, I still think this stands up. It looks really, really nice just as a model to put on display. I think it looks really good and very, very effective. And it's got such a lot going on in terms of the colouring and their transfers that it's just really fun to look at and have on display. Plus, I can't get over how well the suspension works with these metal wires, these prongs. It just looks really, really good. And just for a quick scale comparison, here it is next to Sebulba's Podracer, and yes, I will be taking a look at this next week, but you can see there's a huge size differential between these two vehicles, which is really impressive and really nicely done. So yeah, looking forward to digging into that one next week. So all in all, a very pleasing toy. Even, as I said, by today's standards, this stands up really well as a really fun toy. They could release this now and I'd be very happy with it. I'm amazed that it stood the test of time so well, and I have to say, I'm really impressed. This is really, really good. This is sadly one that I didn't have when I was younger, so I'm really glad that I've actually got it in my collection now, because it's tremendously fun and really nicely done all in all. So yeah, top marks to Hasbro on this one. This was a really successful release. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and remember to subscribe, as there'll be plenty more videos soon.